before we started using Clue, when we were sourcing candidates, it seemed like I spent my entire day clicking between LinkedIn and Seamless and our own Bullhorn database. It was just constant back and forth, back and forth. And then when I did identify a candidate, then especially if I was finding their contact information through something like Seamless, there would be 7 different phone numbers, and you had to start dialing all the phone numbers. So it was just a lot of time, a lot of trial and error to get to the people. You weren't always sure that the contact information was accurate, even if you left a voicemail, for example. So I've not been using Clue long enough to give it a quantified, number. It's this percentage faster, but I can say for sure that there are fewer contact options, and the contact options that are included under information are much more accurate. So it's 1 phone number and 1 email for work, 1 phone number, 1 email for personal, and they're accurate. We've been specialized in a particular sector in fintech, card, and payment searches for over 20 years. And that sounds great, but it also kind of puts you in a silo. I think of the same people for the same kinds of jobs, and I've been thinking of those same people for decades. And what Clue has done is it's broken those walls down. So I'm actually finding candidates that I've not talked to before, in companies I've not been thinking about before, but are the right candidates and the right companies for the search. So it's given me a fresh look at the market, got me past my own boundaries. Two things. So first off, when recruiting, the ability to identify competing companies that I might not even know about, competitive companies or companies in similar sectors, and then zero in on the people in those companies doing the jobs that I want. So that is number one. The other one is for marketing, launching marketing campaigns. And I barely scratched the surface for a new business, getting new searches. But what I have done so far, I like. So, developing a simple script and sending it out to 25 different people, without having to leave the tool, being able to do it right from the page. So that's also been helpful. Last week, I spoke to the CEO of a startup, small company valued at $100 million, but still under 30 people. And we had a conversation about a search for an account executive to bring on new banking clients for them. I'd never heard of her company at all. And I put it in and looked for competing companies on the market planning agent. And that came up with a list of it probably came up with 35 or 40. I wrote out, 30 of them and sent them off to her and said, along with my search agreement. So here's my search agreement. And here's a list of the companies. At first glance, this looks like the companies I'll be going into for your search. Is it accurate? She highlighted 21 of them, said these 21 are accurate, and signed my search agreement. So I don't normally get agreements signed based on 1 phone call. That was, I think, because the list was so dead on for a lot of these companies that are quite obscure that she knew about, that most people wouldn't know about. It tipped her over the edge. All of the above. And actually, I just spoke today to a recruiter in Boston, and she was asking me what tools I use, and I was telling her about Clue. And I guess yesterday, you would have heard us onboarded my other 2 employees. So we're a 3-person company. I initially bought a 1-person license, worked on it for a little bit more than a month, and thought, okay, this is too good to try to keep it to myself. So I bit the bullet and spent the money, and now all 3 of us have access to it. So yes, I would recommend it, and I have recommended it, and I have indeed brought other people on.